So you want to play Rogue? Well, you're in luck, because I've made an intro to Rogue video, and hopefully this gives you the confidence to get in the dungeon and start your adventure. So without further ado, let's jump in. The first thing to cover will be the skills screen. At level 1, you'll only have access to one perk. I highly suggest going either Poisoned Weapon or Jokester as a very close second. Rogue's starting stats for Vigor and Strength are very low, so you need to compensate with armor and perks. Jokester helps to compensate these terrible stats by giving you a +2 all attributes, so that's what I'm going with here. The way I like to view Rogue's perks and abilities is that there is a clear distinction between skills and perks that are good at lower gear scores and skills and perks that are better at higher gear scores. For example, Rupture is great at adding that extra oomph to your attacks early on with low gear score, but replacing it with Dual Strike, Sneak Attack, or Weak Point can far out damage what Rupture can do when well geared. There's also a mix of utility and damage. To deal with good casters, you'll need Cutthroat. This skill provides a 2-second silence, allowing you to close the gap or prevent a channeled spell from continuing by using your crossbow. Caltrop, Smoke Pot, and Tumble are more niche abilities, so I'll be avoiding those for this tutorial. However, they do have a purpose if you have a plan in mind. Up until this season, Hide has been a perk that has been useful to get in and out of combat, but as of Season 10, it has been heavily nerfed for combat use, so I highly recommend not using it. For our first game, I'll be running Rupture and Weak Point, which will add a lot of damage to my attacks and give me the ability to fight higher armor targets, such as fighters, clerics, and barbarians. Next up is Squire. My goal here is to fix the bad initial stats by boosting strength and vigor. As a quick refresher, there's a stat called Physical Power Bonus. This stat is actually negative, below 15 strength, which means you'll be dealing less than the full damage your weapon has to offer. So it's very important for Rogue, since your weapons are already lower damage, to get this to 15 at least. This is also part of the reason I picked Jokester. After 15 strength, our next stat goal is to improve Vigor to give us more sustain in a fight. Keeping in mind what I mentioned in episode 1 of the beginner series, putting your heal items on 3 and your utility items on 4 helps to break them up by purpose. This is down to personal preference, as this is how I run it, and other people run it differently. However, my goal is to simplify things for newcomers. So our goal in our first game is to try to loot as much as we can, kill as many mobs as you can, and interact with map objects such as Shrines of Health, Power, Protection, Speed, and opening portals, even if you don't take them, grants additional XP. Looting this module that we spawned in is a safe way to get some gear, and will allow us to take a fight if we need to. Let's make sure to remember to stay away from the temptation of looting any green treasure. It's just not worth it. The loot pool right now is so good that taking any green treasure is just troll. It's taking up inventory space, and then later on when you're forced to make quick decisions on the fly about which items to drop, it makes it much harder. So it's just better not to pick them up at all. Assuming you're following this guide, you're going to end up with more than enough treasure that you know what to do with. So right here you can see me using the crossbow to shoot at the pot across the room. This pot spawns the spiders that you see crawling around. Without breaking this pot, the spiders will respawn infinitely, making it a complete nightmare for a newcomer to deal with this room. I have seen plenty of rooms that have thousands of spider bodies everywhere just because whoever was in there didn't know that they had to break the pot. Don't let that be you. These rugged boots are pretty nice for us, so we're going to be yoinking those. So here we spotted a book on the table. We're definitely going to make our way to try to grab that. You can either just run in there and grab it, just dodge all the mobs, as many people do, or you can just fight your way around. It doesn't actually matter. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but since there's nobody here, I'm not concerned of anybody coming in to sweep it. Here I'm just looking around for people and keeping my ears and eyes sharp so that I can make sure that nobody's getting to drop on me. And then we find this vigor hat, which again is kind of huge for us since our vigor is so low. Here I decide that losing a point of strength is going to be worth taking that 3 vigor. This book is actually worth 500 gold sold directly to the merchant, the collector. So, and it is worth dropping almost anything that's in your inventory. So here we see a player, and I'll just talk to my thought process on how to fight him. As of right now, we know he's a ranger just because of what he's wearing, and because he has a bow on his back. So we're really just trying to bait out an ability here. So we heard him use fire arrows and triple shot. So I'm just trying to get him stick around cover. He lands 2 of those, but the fire arrow effect wore off. Now you kind of have to respect the spear because it does a lot of damage. So I'm just throwing 2 of my throwing knives there. And he lands 1 good hit there. So back to being in cover. And don't forget to pop potions and band-aids along the way. Here, actually, it's a little bit of a mistake to go out into the open. But he's retreating, so I don't want him to go away. I want to stay on top of him. He just used triple shot, so he's down on ability. So we can pressure him. And he's just going to run away. And he runs into, I believe, is his own trap. This fight probably would have ended sooner if I had poisoned weapon as well. So right now we're only running Jokester. So the next game when we come back in with poisoned weapon, we're actually going to be way more deadly. Also, don't forget to heal after a fight, especially if you take any amount of damage, really. Just stay topped off, stay healthy before you start looting, because you never know who's going to show up next, and you need to be able to take the next fight. From here, we're just going to take anything of value. Use the shrine, and then we get the hell out. We have a lot of valuables on us, and we've touched a lot of shrines. Damn. 11,000. Sheesh. Bidden pair. Huh. The hell is that? Is that worth a lot? Oh my god! Alright, we're gonna hold on to that one. Sheesh. Bit of a time skip on this one, guys. I went and played a bunch of games on Cleric, and I used the quest to level up my rogue. And so we're going to continue to game 3 here. And in the meantime, I'm going to equip, even though I can equip all 4 perks, I'm just going to do one more perk and just pretend that it's going to be game 3. So we'll do that. I'm going with Dagger Mastery here. I do recommend, if you want to get kills on Rogue, to bring throwing knives. That's pretty much a requirement now. It was kind of before, especially in higher gear scores, but now even in Squire, you're gonna need some throwing knives. You just, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Rogue just doesn't do enough damage, but it doesn't mean that it's any less lethal with the perks and with the gear that you find. So this game, we're going to be playing pretty aggressive because we finally did get our third perk, getting Dagger Mastery. Instead of Weak Point, I could probably go for the Throwing Knife one as well, which allows you to close the gap on people. So I'll try that one just to change things up. The other perk that I was using was Weak Point, which lowers the armor rating. So that would be really good if I was going up against a fighter or a cleric or somebody that's very armored. But this is kind of just good for everybody, so we're going to run it. Oh, one thing to be aware of is if you, I don't have a example here. So if you have a crossbow or a bow equipped and you hit start with this on, you will lose the supplied bolts and arrows. So that's kind of trolled some of my games already where I've gone in and I have no bolts or no arrows. So just keep that in mind that if you have a non-supplied, like if you're bringing in your own crossbow or your own bow for ranger, make sure to turn this off. That way it doesn't reapply the Squire thing. And I don't have a crossbow to do an example with here, but basically right now the reason I'm getting bolts is because the Squire is giving me this crossbow. If this crossbow gets replaced or is out of there, then these bolts go away. So we kind of want those. Right now it wouldn't matter because I'm bringing in the supplied bow or the supplied crossbow, but in case we weren't. Always make sure to heal up and stay healthy, because you never know when somebody can just enter your module and just ruin your day. Alright, so I'm pretty much going to go look for a fight. Looks like this has been opened. Turning on Rupture. People in here. sure we can find somebody. And we have gotten some pretty nice upgrades. We could still try to go to get some upgrades to the daggers. As I mentioned in the ranger guide, if you're a ranger, you want to kill these guys, the bowmen, because they have a good chance of dropping bows. If you're a rogue and you want daggers, you want to go to the module, this one right here. I forget, that one's called Abandoned Sanctuary, because that one has the harpies. The harpies drop daggers. Don't be afraid to use your meds. I mean, that is why you bring them in. It's just so that you can heal yourself after taking damage. So the last thing you want to do is be kind of injured after fighting mobs to fight a player. You definitely always want to try to start a fight with a player at full HP if you can. So here I'm just going to show this in this module, there's actually a res point up here. So if you're playing with a friend, you can res your friend up there. But there's also a golden chest that's guaranteed to spawn. And the dead bodies have lockpicks. Close the door. Generally speaking, I don't think you should... What the... If that door gets blown open, that's a player. So generally speaking, I don't close doors behind me because you always want to leave room to be able to back away. So... She died to poison right there. We got a Chris dagger. Not my favorite dagger, but you'll have to play around with daggers to figure out which one you like the most. I'm actually going to drop some bolts for that dagger. So it's a 1 point of damage difference, but the attack pattern is really what makes it not as good for me. I've just been in too many situations where this happens. You're like on top of somebody and then on a doorway, you know. Whereas the stiletto is very just forward. So I'm just gonna drop that dagger. I'm never gonna use it. Oh god. We have 4 minutes left. So we're just gonna try to kill a couple more of these mobs. On mobs where it makes sense to use the dagger over the rapier, I'm gonna do that because I have dagger mastery, so I'm getting 1 true physical damage in every time. So my 19 damage dagger is really 20 damage. So we got 4 levels out of that, or 3 levels. I do think it does slow down as you get higher and higher level, but more than likely, if you do enough looting, you'll get about 4 or 5 levels per run in the very, very beginning. It's not uncommon to get a lot more than that if you get a couple kills along the way, or if you go down a floor, you can get a lot. But right now, our goal is going to be to get back in, do one last game with all 4 perks. I'm going to just run thrust, get some extra armor pen. Don't forget to use your merchant to supply extra throwing knives and potions every time. Even if you hadn't used them before, just pull them out of here, put them in your inventory, and then hit Squire and equip base gear, and he will supply you some more. In fact, I'll show you how to do that with the hand crossbow. So I'm just going to pull that out. And you see one this is the gear that he's going to give me, so he's going to give me another one. So that's up here, and he's giving me extra bolts. So this is what I was saying before, whereas if this one I used from the last game, so if this one's up here, and you go to auto equip base supplies, and you start and enter, he will do this. He'll equip the base gear, and then the bolts disappear. So you don't want that to happen. So once we do this, we're not going to equip base gear. We're just going to unequip that, or turn that off. 2 or 3 bands. Items restricted from entry. Oh, the hat. And what else? Bandage. This one. Okay. Let's redo that. So we get a hat. And let's get back in. Turn that off. Really? For what? All right, so I'm back into this game. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hit some shrines, because if your goal is to level up and you're watching this video and you're still like under level 15 where you don't have all your perks, your goal should be to touch all the shrines that you can, because they will be the things that allow you to level up. So one priority I have for this game is to get myself a dagger, because last game I still had the white stiletto, which is not a huge deal, but having a stronger weapon gives you a really big advantage over other players, even more so than your gear. So that is one thing we're going to try to do, fix that this time. Somebody just closed the door right here. He just ran through. All right, I'm going to kill this thing. He aggroed the cockatrice. We'll hear it if he's fighting it. I'm just listening. That guy's probably just running through. Looks like the cockatrice has reset. So the guy just ran through the module and is gonna come for me now, which is not ideal. I didn't want to fight this thing. Ow. Oh god. Alright. I guess we just fight this thing. Gonna fight the harpy. Oh, turn around. This is dangerous. Oh my god. So annoying. Alright, harpy should be dead. Oh, I might be dead. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. That was really lucky. Extremely lucky. Still want a more harpy up there. This thing should be close. There it is. Now, it's the next one. Okay. Now, if we get jumped on by another player right now, that would be bad news for us. Which the Harpy. Another Chris weapon. Chris dagger. That one's got additional weapon damage. Might try it out. Alright, she's gone. Ooh, purple rondelle. Alright, we're definitely using that one now. And use the shrine to heal up. Save on meds. This stuff's been looted, so that guy's just speedrunning the loot, maybe. Pretty sure that guy might just be a rogue. He's just going for... There's a guy here, I think. Definitely a guy here. I'm gonna come up behind him. Alright, looks like there's a fight here. This is solos, so shouldn't normally be this many people here. Alright, that guy's dead. Alright. Got 2 kills there. They were both kind of low. There's a third guy up top. So we're just going to chill down here for a second.
Are you the guy I was talking with? Or a different one?
Where is he? He's up top. Taking out my daggers, or my potion, so he doesn't see me. He might actually see me. Alright, gotta respect the, He's dead. Drink a potion. Stay healthy. Okay. He has some meds for us. We're going to take a little bit. Let's check that rogue. He died very quick, so he must have been hurt already. Got some loot for us and some throwing knives. Take those. I'm gonna drop this Chris dagger. Oh, rusty key. Okay, we're gonna go do that. We're gonna ignore everything else. Show you where the rusty key room is. We're just gonna go through this way. Ignore the big guy. We can use him as a way to block. There's a bunch of mobs here. You can either just run in or you can clear them. Sometimes running in is just safer because it creates a giant wall of mobs for you to be able to loot safely, but maybe what I'll do is I'll pull the guys in this room out. Remember, the cockatrice always yells right at the beginning, so don't look at it. So we want to drag this thing out of here. Okay, we're gonna wake up this guy. Get them all out of this room. Side strafe everybody. We don't have a ton of time, so I don't want to fight a mini-boss and a million skeletons. It's just going to take way too long. So, We're gonna make sure that... Oh, they broke that. That's not good for me. I don't know why this guy's still here. Proc the attack. And then I'm gonna back up real quick. Make sure that this thing doesn't come in. Oh, God. Oh, now he's gonna block my door. Everybody's here. Oh, my God. This is bad, boys. No! All right, let's get in here. Oh, my God, he's in here. Okay. Worst case scenario. We're just gonna heal. Play around the wall. Play around this pillar. People still can't get to us easily because of the door and all the mobs. Hit it in the head. Ow. Watch out for the shout. Oh, there it is. Turn away. And he's dead. All right, I didn't want to fight this thing, but don't mind if I do. Oh my God, let's go. I'm gonna drop some stuff for this loot, and there's always a jewelry piece in there, so we want to make sure we get that. What else do we drop here? I'm gonna drop that. I don't care enough. Hydro pendant, 3 fizz power. Yeah, that's huge. Okay. And then in order to do piles, this wasn't part of the original plan, so all these knives are here. You want to clear... The way that it used to be is that you would clear a 5x5 space just in case you got a giant chest and other stuff. It just made it so that you didn't lose any loot, but I don't know if it's still that way, but it's still kind of safer to just do that. Also, one other trick you can do is this lyre. You can equip the lyre. This gives you resourcefulness, which will make your pulls faster. So equip that. And we're hitting a pile on game 3 after killing 3 people. So we're just gonna hit this as many times as we have time for, and then we're gonna go down. Wow, that's huge. Drop that right there. Definitely want that. That's money. Don't mind the mobs on the outside of the door. They're guarding us. This door cannot be broken into, and you need that that key that I used, the rusty iron key. So if you find that on the ground or on a player, definitely take it from them. Drop that there. So right now we have Gloves of Utility giving us extra regular interaction speed and the Lyre giving us extra resourcefulness. So that's making our pulls a little bit faster. But in general, Rogue, Ranger, and the more resourceful classes will have faster pulls. I like to make a pile of the stuff that I'm keeping versus a pile of the stuff that I'm probably not keeping. We can keep pulling probably up until about a minute 30, just to make sure we have enough time to get out of here and go to this red directly north of us. That. We can just bring them in just like that until we can drop things off in the expressman. We're gonna ignore all the mobs. Side strafe. They opened the door already for me. This the path is clear. So all we're gonna do is just go to this red. Hopefully nobody's here. Jumps on me from above. And let's go down. So the expressman has a smaller inventory, and he will charge you half of what the item is worth when you pull it out. So right now I'm just giving him all of my treasures just because it doesn't make sense for me to keep it on me. And we're gonna put that stiletto in there and keep the nice rondelle. Oh my gosh, let me put it in there, please. There it is. Put some of these lockpicks in there. I don't need that many. So once you get back to menus, the expressman is under the merchants tab, and you can go in there and just pull out the loot. We already got people dying. We're a minute in, and he's a skeleton footman. Should die to the poison. Okay. We're just gonna go through, clear, and get loot. Actually, funny enough, I don't think we've seen any spider pots in the previous videos, so this is how you get rid of spider pots. If you run into these, the spiders will keep coming out infinitely out of this pot. So the way that you stop the spiders from spawning, which another one will spawn soon, there it is. Way you stop that from spawning is by breaking this thing. You can shoot it with a bow or a crossbow, or you can poke it with a weapon. Oh my god, let's go. Put that over there. I think we got a gamer. Gamer going through. Okay. He's dodging mobs, it looks like. We're gonna go on him. Alright, he's just running. We're kind of strong right now because of the stuff that we have found. Oh, okay. Alright. So I did hit him with the dagger there, and my teleport did not go off, so that's kind of unfortunate. But it is what it is. That spell is really good when it works, really bad when it doesn't work. Alright, we're kind of reset here. I'm gonna drink another potion before we go back in. Restock my throwing knife. How did that miss? That's kind of crazy. Okay. He's got to waste all his spells, right? Alright, we just got tagged by that. He's a wizard, so he doesn't have infinite spells. Eventually he'll run out. Look at him go. Oh my god. He's amazing. Alright, I think he's out of fireballs, right? Surely he's out of fireballs. Alright. He doesn't do that much damage. Oh, he's cooked. I don't know what he was thinking. He hurts, though. Holy. Now, if my dagger thing had worked, would have been on him, but that's okay. Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Drop that. Here, okay. Take all of his heals, because we burnt a bunch. Had a magic staff, a spell book. I'm just gonna heal back up. Oh, this module actually has treasure, so there is a book somewhere around here, and he already opened it. Okay, you can stand right in this corner without taking damage, and then you can open this thing. Sometimes that's a locked chest that you need a key for, but if it's just a regular, then you don't. So, all right, my vigor is very low, so this adventure cloak actually is worse than this right now. I don't need the extra move speed. I need to be able to survive. Since he gave us extra keys, one thing we can do is check down there where there is a chance to get a golden key from the guaranteed golden treasure. So I'll just open this up. Okay, here we go. In fact, I'm actually gonna, just to be safe, I'm gonna make myself, oh god, gonna give myself an escape route. And wait for him to shoot again. All right, here we go. Just in case somebody comes in from one direction, I can run the other direction. Golden door. Okay, so it's this one. You can unlock these iron doors with lockpicks. Oh, I missed the minigame. Oops. Okay. But I have a ton of lockpicks, so we're good. Oh my god, I suck. I'll take that for now. It might be good. Sometimes there's a golden key, which lets you open this room, but there wasn't, so it is what it is. Let us continue. Also, there's more of these stone tombs here, which you can loot for more gear, if you need gear. We're not in the worst shape. Pyramid, 2 modules north is pretty good. This is actually pretty decent. I'm gonna drop this. Yeah. Let's go north. Let's go this way. I'm just gonna follow. Looks like somebody's already come through here, so we're gonna go behind them. This could be the argument against leaving doors open. So that lower area is where you get more loot. It looks like they've already come out, so where did they go? They went more south? Both doors are facing inwards. That door's facing outward. We got 3 minutes left. So I think it's going to touch a shrine. And start making our way to our blue so we can get out with our treasure. Let's repent. See a dead player up there. And a mob just on top of him. Are you a player mob? I suspect not. Oh, he was low, dude. It's funny. What is happening here? I don't like this. Silent Dreezy. Oh. Oh my god. Give me that. Feels bad for him. Oh, those bats are really good. Okay. Take that. Take the bandages. Dropping heals. So we can take more loot. Drop the torch. Take those pants. We took anything that he had of value on him. Unfortunate for him. All right, we got a minute 30. We gotta go. Let's go south. Okay. Gonna go through the boss room. Just Ghost King. We can do him, but not in a minute 30. So jump, crouch there. There's a golden chest here, guaranteed now. That one's always there. All right, and this is the blue. You just open the door and get the hell out. And with that, that is probably the last, gonna be the last video for this rogue section. I think that you probably get the gist of how to play this class. I didn't show any of the rogue and Viz just because it's just not going to be viable this season, especially not against good players. Good players already knew you were there before. Nowadays, it just either they have ESP or some shit, or they're good players because they can listen to your footsteps and react accordingly. And now with the minus 30% physical power bonus, physical damage bonus, you just stand no chance of killing any reasonably good players. So we're gonna leave it at that. We did make it to level 22, I think, from 19. So we got another 3 levels on that one, and got a few kills. Went down a floor. Showed some more loot that you can get, things that you can do as rogue. But yeah, if you guys are liking the series so far, let me know what you think in the comments below. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more of this kind of content. If you like, please let me know what you would like to see. I will see you guys in the dungeon.